Truly Archimedean. This must be the pinnacle of our perfection. In all our past transgressions, who'd have thought it plausible to take these soldiers' forfeit and commune them with those mindless eidolon automata we'd have thrown away by now? This frame of war returns, by all accounts, from our system and theirs. He can only be christened Revenant.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the fabled, the long-awaited, the Revenant video. My name is Arcader. Welcome to the channel. Today we have ourselves an interesting Warframe, an Eidolon-style Warframe, Revenant. Let's go right into his build, and I'm gonna explain what Revenant does. So, what we have here is Enthrall. Okay, so pretty simple. Revenant can cast this on it's like 5 enemies at a time, and it can spread to more enemies by itself. What happens is you hit an enemy with it, and they're radiation procced, pretty much. They don't attack you, so it's a little bit better than a radiation proc. But yeah, they go and attack other enemies. And damage done to them will kind of launch like a breach surge style wisp of itself towards other enemies. Kind of like a Zymos thing, but instead of doing damage, it just enthralls other enemies. And, you know, by itself, at face value, this seems like shit. It's like, you know, it's like Nyx's whole kit wrapped in one, kind of. And when enemies die, they'll go into a little like death well and do damage over time. That's not really doesn't do too much, but you can combo his 1 with his 3. Let's go over the 3 next. This is Reeve. Interesting thing about Reeve is that the visual effects in this little video that they show on the ability screen is outdated and looks like shit, because what the ability actually looks like is this, which does look slightly better. But what it does is this. You'll dash forward, kind of like, you know, like a Rhino charge or slash dash or something like that, and it will do a percentage health and armor drain, or like shields and stuff like that, from enemies. And the percentage is based on your power strength. But don't be alarmed. This health drain does say 103%. And that would lead you to believe that anything that Reeve hits instantly dies, but that only applies to things that are already under the effects of Enthrall. Reeve by itself does do a little bit of damage, but it's really not going to one-shot anything unless they're under the effects of Enthrall. So let's show you right now, kinda, a little bit of what it does. Just spawn some exogod stats, you know the drill. Let's grab some energy. We're just gonna enthrall this one officer. So that's what it looks like. You get she gets a little effect above her head. And now we're gonna Reeve right through this line of enemies. As you can see, it does that much damage. That's actually, you know, that's pretty respectable. But yeah, the one that I enthralled died, and then she kind of breach surges and sends more waves of enthrallingness to other enemies. Now, a bunch of other ones are enthralled, so if I Reeve through them, I can kill all of them. And it kind of chains itself like that. Now this girl is enthralled right here. And, you know, the more I enthrall, the more damage it does over time. There are builds you can make where you can put like Larva or Ensnare or something, or Airburst on Revenant to kind of take advantage of this and nuke small rooms. But the main coup de grace that makes Revenant a competent Warframe is going to be his 2 Mesmer skin. So if you've ever used an Amatia, its first ability, that's this. So based on your power strength, you'll be given a number of charges where if an enemy damages you, it will just not damage you at all, and it will instead stun them. What's cool about this is that when they're stunned, obviously they're not attacking you anymore, but also you can then enthrall them for absolutely 0 energy. So normally it costs 22 energy, now it's going to cost 0 if you have your 2 on and just pay attention to, you know, which enemies you're getting stunned. So it'll stay stunned for 5 seconds, so You have 5 seconds to aim at them, press 1, and then reave. And then you'll kill like a pretty good group of enemies. His 4 is Dance Macabre, or whatever it's called. It's just a big old tornado of like pretty respectable damage, but it just hemorrhages your energy so quick, it's not worth considering unless you're going to make an entire build around it. And that's really for another video. So instead I put Condemn on him because Condemn has recently had some big buffs in the game. Condemn used to just be like a straight line, it would do this. That used to be Condemn. Now, what Condemn does is it will scale with power range, and also it has a small pulse around your feet, so this visual effect is outdated, like slightly. But as you can see, if I'm like standing right in front of this officer, she gets chained even though I was, aiming the other way. So it's now a very consistent ability in terms of enemies it hits. I can actually use it to hit enemies I want to hit. And I think the range stat is actually bugged on it. Like if you look in my abilities menu here, not appearance, abilities, it says, what did it say, 20 meters. It's kind of finicky. It's really not 20 meters. It's more like, it's longer actually. So let's like mark this enemy here. Let's go 20 meters. Let's go like 30, 29. Not 29, maybe like 25. Yeah, that didn't hit her. Like 23, 22. It's a little bit, yeah, there you go, like 20, 22, 23. It's not quite accurate. The more range you have, the more that discrepancy grows. So if I had like 300% power range, it would say like, I don't know, like 50 meters and actually be like 65 or something. Point is, Condemn is really good now. It instantly fills up your shields as soon as it hits anything, and it locks down an entire room for you to start casting your 1 onto, and then once everything has your 1 on it, you cast 3 and shit dies. So now we get into the crux of this video. Why am I making this Revenant video? Well, ever since my last tier of this video, and also the one before that, my placement of Revenant has been relatively low in comparison to frames like, Rhino, Neja, Inaros, Trinity, any Warframe that has gone above Revenant. I've had people in the comments arguing why Revenant is the best frame in the game, and I have some Steel Past footage of a survival I just did for 5 minutes, killing an Acolyte and everything. And I just want you to know that, yes, all of the gameplay you're seeing right now is of Revenant, and Revenant is a good Warframe, and he works, and he does things that are unique to him, and he can be very fun, and I like him. This does not affect where I have put him on the tier list. I would be happy to invite you to rally for Revenant to receive even more improvements. If you think he's already the perfect Warframe, that's great. Please continue using him. He's a lot of fun. I don't complain about Revenants in my squad, but better Warframes exist, I'm sorry to say. Revenant does the one thing, which is killing enemies, and his Mesmer skin can keep him alive sometimes, but usually you're going to be relying on Rolling Guard, adaptation, defensive mods like what I have here. I have Rolling Guard equipped. I have, a couple of Augur mods to compensate for Condemn. Maybe if it doesn't fill up all of my shields, the Augur mods will help me get up there. And then Arcane Aegis, obviously. I've put a lot of work into keeping Revenant survivable enough so that if I unpause these enemies, I can actually competently fight them. Let me get some energy here. Yeah, this is pretty much the gameplay of Revenant right here. You get some energy. You could probably form a couple times from my build to get try and flow in there, so you have a little bit better of an economy, but in general, yeah, I mean, he's a good little lockdown Warframe. He does pretty good damage. The main thing, the main point I see is that yes, his 1 and his 3 do work. This combo that insta-kill things, it does work on liches and acolytes and things like that. But like, are you having trouble killing liches and acolytes that you need to one-shot them mathematically like this? I mean, if you're casting 2 abilities for the same effect that I could get by left-clicking, like, bam, that thing's now dead. He's very fun. He's very cool. He works. He does a good job at what he's supposed to do. But, you know, that's the baseline of Warframes in this game. And I invite you to try some other Warframes if you haven't. And if you think Revenant needs to be improved, I agree. Let's tell DE to give him some cool augments, maybe a rework of his 4 or something like that. It would be a lot of fun if Revenant were even better than he already is. And same with a lot of Warframes. So that's going to be all for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you out on the start chart, Tenno.